Welcome back to Are You Keeping Up with the Commodore? Today's video we'll be looking at Temporal Vortex BBS updates. I've been working on the Temporal Vortex bulletin board system over the last 2 or 3 months. You saw some of the early work that was presented in the Getting Started with the Strike Link video I released a while back. Today, I'm going to show some of the BBS updates that have happened in the last couple months, both in PETSCI mode, or standard Commodore CG mode, as well as the new Turbo 56 Retro Terminal mode. Today, we'll start out by connecting to the bulletin board using a common PETSCI terminal called CCGMS, as well as the Strike Link device. I've got my Strike Link device set at 1200 baud. We're going to take just a moment to turn the speed up on that a bit to 9600 baud. I type ATB as in baud, 9600, hit the Enter key, hit the F7 key on the terminal and change the modem type to UP96 and the baud rate to 9600 baud. That's a little faster. Let's go ahead and connect to the bulletin board system with attention dial, or ATD, bbs.gunstar.one, :6400. We'll hit the Enter key and let it detect our terminal. And the backspace key to let it detect the CG terminal I'm running, and select option 2, which is the CCGMS setting. Now, if you have a user account created on the board, which is very easy to do, you'll have options to access things like the message areas to post messages, or the IRC channel, which requires you to have a username. For now, I'm just going to go ahead and log in as guest. You're also welcome to do that if you don't wish to create an account. And of course, if it detects that you're using a PETSCI connection, the bulletin board will inform you. You're missing out. You don't have access to the high-res graphics and sound, the features that make this BBS a little different from some of the others you may have encountered. As long as you have a Turbo 232, a SwiftLink device, and that includes the Ultimate C64 products that are SwiftLink compatible, or a Strike Link USB device like I'm using here today, you can go into the file section of the BBS and download the appropriate retro term to allow you to have access fully to the bulletin board. We'll take a look at that in a few minutes. And welcome to the board. Let's poke around a little bit and see some of the features that we can do here. The first one I'm going to select is the weather feature. This is why I'm recording videos today, because outside right now is a light snow as compared to what it was about 2 hours ago. And I'm getting some forecasts for the rest of the day in my area. And Monday, not looking too much warmer. And Tuesday. We've got access to the message boards now through the PETSCI mode. So I can go here. I can read messages. Don't necessarily have access right now to write because I'm on a guest account. You might notice some features with an asterisk beside them. Those features are not going to work right now in PETSCI mode. So I'm tapping radios and C those require the RetroTerm. So why don't we just take a minute and download a copy of RetroTerm. Go to the File section, and I'm going to select the section for RetroTerm for Commodore computers. And I'm going to pick the appropriate RetroTerm for my device, which is the StrikeLink device, which plugs into the user port. So I want to choose File D. CCGMS supports Xmodem download, which I have it configured for, so we're going to go ahead and download this program right to my CCGMS disk. Select Xmodem and start my transfer. Let's give it a name and tell it that it is indeed a program so that the transfer starts up. If you've never used Xmodem to download a file from a bulletin board for your Commodore computer, you have truly missed out on an entire era. This is the way that programs were traded and exchanged through the 1980s. There really was no internet to speak of. The beginning stages of the internet were really available to education and not to the general public or to the U.S. military. And so what you're seeing here is how we transferred files. Now, RetroTerm, there it goes. RetroTerm is a very small program. It doesn't take very long to download, but I can remember back in the day sitting for an hour to download a game using the terminal program connected to a bulletin board, just like you see here. Takes about 30 seconds for the BBS to come back to life after the download. In this particular configuration, there it goes. And we've got our saved copy of RetroTerm. If you'd like, there's also two very extensive game libraries that are available to all users, including guest users of the bulletin board, using the Petsky terminal like CCGMS. I can select any of these files and download them, save them to disk, just like I did using the Xmodem protocol, and then play them when I go offline. You are welcome to browse the libraries, download anything you want. There are no user download ratios or upload ratios. Feel free to enjoy the BBS as much as you'd like. All right, so one more feature I'm going to look at here while I'm logged into CCGMS is the IRC, which is also now available to standard Petsky terminals. But I can't access this area because I logged in as guest. So let's go ahead and log out and come back onto the BBS using RetroTerm and poke around with some of the advanced features that are now available. Log off. Yes, I'm sure. And I've been disconnected from the bulletin board. Now, I'm just going to reset the computer to go back to basic and load RetroTerm. But before I do that, I want to configure the StrikeLink device to the proper baud rate for RetroTerm. So I'm going to type in ATF0B57600 and hit enter. Okay, it's no longer talking to CCGMS. It's outside of the range of CCGMS. So we're going to reset the computer. Let's take a look at our disk where we downloaded our file. There's a copy of RetroTerm. So let's go ahead and load that into the computer's memory. And run the program. All right, let's see if the StrikeLink device is talking to us. It is indeed, we're ready to connect back to the bulletin board. So let's do it again. ATD bbs.gunstar.one :6400 and enter. This time we're getting the graphic login, and I'm going to type L for login and give my username and my password. A little bit of fun here with some of RetroTerm's advanced features. Let's go ahead and turn off that key sound there. I'm going to hit Commodore M to turn that off. It'll only turn off the key sounds. It won't turn off all the rest of the sounds of the BBS.
Calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're gonna see some serious...
And welcome back. We're on the board. All right, menu looks the same this time, but some things have changed a little bit now that we're logged in through RetroTerm. Let's start with the feature we went to while we were using CCGMS, which was the weather report. We're getting the sad same cold weather this afternoon, but this time I'm getting it in a form of a graphic screen. Sort of reminds me of Prodigy, if you ever used that service back in the day in the early 90s. Why, it's cold out here. Let's go out of that. Look for some warmer entertainment here. I can go to the message boards like we did before. And the message interface is pretty much the same. The only difference in the message area between logging in through CCGMS and using RetroTerm is the text input is a little different. Both of them feature word wrap, but pretty much the interface is very, very similar on either one of the terminals. Of course, now that I've got logged in with my username, I can start a new thread. We won't worry about that for right now. Let's go into the high-res the graphics gallery here, the high-res gallery. Now, if you're logged into the BBS using CCGMS, you can access the gallery. The difference is that when you access a picture through CCGMS, it will allow you to download that picture to your floppy disk and then view it while you're offline. If you're logged in through RetroTerm, you can actually just select the image and it'll load it on screen while you're online. Let's try this one. And enter. It's actually converting a JPEG image, I believe, right here. There we go. Let's go back out. Just tap the enter key when you're ready to leave the image. Let's load an image that doesn't require us to convert. We'll load a Commodore graphics file here. Say this fall scene, for instance. And we'll hit enter to view the image. Takes just a moment for it to render it and send it to the bulletin board. There you go. There's a file. It looks like this was made in probably koala paint. And we'll hit the enter key to exit that. Let's go out of here and I show you a brand new feature that I just turned on this last month. This is another feature of RetroTerm, which gives us the ability to listen to computer audio files through the bulletin board system. I took a little bit of a poll on Reddit to find out what everyone's favorite music was. And then I went through and loaded up a whole bunch of SID files into the bulletin board for all of the favorites that were mentioned. Let's see, let's try one here. You can also adjust the subtune before you start the player. We're just going to hit enter and try this file. And pressing a key will stop the playback. And we'll exit back to the list. Let's try another one. This is one of my favorites. And I've hit a key to stop that. But there's a couple pages of SID files that if you're logged in through RetroTerm, you can listen to those files online. Let's go out of here and let's try to go to the area we tried to go to when we were logged in as a guest. This time I'm logged in using my account. I'm going to load the IRC. And we're logged into C64 Friends. This is just kind of an online IRC hangout for many of the Commodore enthusiasts, really all around the world, are logged into this channel at all times during the day. I'm going to kick out a quick hello. Many of the users leave their computers logged into us or their devices logged into this channel all day long. You'll catch conversation on here in the mornings. We're trying to get something together for Saturday evenings once again, like we used to have on this channel. You might have noticed that announcement on the main menu. One of the things that you can do with this IRC client while you're logged in, you can also check out other IRC channels or even create your own channel from this IRC server. So all of those typical IRC commands, they work just fine in this IRC viewer. Okay, let's check out radios. And let's see if we get a copyright strike here. I'm gonna pull. Well, let's try BBC Radio World Service. See if it'll load. I'm gonna hit Enter to start, and you can hit X to stop or cancel whenever you're tired of listening to it.
So you've been over in 4 years, so that's kind of as long that this battery boom in the electric vehicles has started in Depression. Have you noticed business changing more and more?
Sounds like a news service from the BBC is happening there. Let's go ahead and exit out of that. There's several other channels here that you can tune into. I'm not going to risk loading them in the video because I could probably get a little flag from YouTube for loading music on there. So there's a whole bunch of new features that are available to you. If you just have a standard Petsky terminal, the bulletin board is very open to you now. Many of the features have been converted over. Obviously, the best user experience is going to be if you take a moment to download RetroTerm, just like I did, and log into the bulletin board using that terminal. Let's go back to the file area before I let you go here today, and let's download another file. Only this time, let's download a game. I'm going to go to the OneLoad version 5 collection. And let's see here. Let's find a good game we can download here. Let's try Agent USA. Now, had I done this with CCGMS, I'd have the option of using Xmodem to save that to disk. I can still save this to disk using RetroTerm, or I can do something kind of cool. Let's say you don't have a disk device or didn't have anything hooked up. I can just hit the Enter key to transfer this file directly from the bulletin board to the memory of the Commodore. Let's do that. There we go. The program's been transferred to the RAM of the Commodore computer I'm using. I can actually just log off the BBS from here if I want to play the game right now, or I can continue the session with C. Let's go ahead and log off the bulletin board, and this is a fine way to log off. This doesn't hurt anything. We'll hit L, and I've got no carrier here. I'm going to hit the run stop on RetroTerm and type run to run my game. I've loaded the crunched library from the OneLoad version 5, so the files are a little smaller when you download them, but you will have that decompression that you saw when you run the programs. They expand back out automatically. So this is what's been going on. You turn that down. This is what's been going on. This is what I've been working on over the last couple months. I would invite you to get your StrikeLink device if you have one, or your SwiftLink device, or your Ultimate 64 or Turbo 232 device, and dial into the bulletin board. There's a whole lot going on. The improvements are almost daily right now. There's a community that's actually starting to form on the BBS. I would invite you to log in and check that out and explore. So if you'd like to participate in communications the way we did it back in the day, That's still online and available to you. And I'll see you in the next video.